Are live.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Alamance County Board of Elections January 10th, 2023 board meeting. It's 2 o'clock and we are at the South Maple Street offices of the board in Graham, North Carolina. Looks like we have a quorum here, so that is good. And I will call the meeting to order. Usually we make an opening for public comments. Nobody's here in the meeting. Has anybody by electronic or otherwise had any comments or questions for us?
No.
All right.
No.
Without comments, there's no real need for response, but if anybody has anything they want to get off their chest, this is the flexible time to do it. All right. If you could look over the agenda and see if there's any items that you need changing or you feel need deleting or adding. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes unanimously. Thank you, Karen, for getting us this big stack of minutes way ahead of time. I can take a minute to look over them, and if I move on and you want to look over them a little more, let me know, but take a second. A lot of absentee ballot meetings here from the November election.
I move we approve the minutes from November 1st, November 7th and 8th, November 17th and 18th of 2022.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unanimously adopted. All right. And so we can move on to agenda item number 4, which is budget discussions for the 23-24 fiscal year. And item A will be the number of one-stop sites for our 2023 May primary, municipal primary, 2023 municipal election, and 2024 presidential preference primary.
Okay, I have your first little packet of papers. I've just given you the last from 2017, 2019, and 2021. We just had one site for the municipal elections for the primary and the November election. Due to prior to COVID, we held the elections here in our lobby. Then once COVID, after COVID, we did move, in 21, we had it at the county annex building.
For early voting.
For early voting, yes. And the, now we're using that, as storage. I have spoken with, the Graham Library. They have a room that we have used in the past for early voting, and if that's okay with y'all, maybe see if it would be available for the October primary, municipal primary, and the November municipal election. That's an option. I feel like the Graham Recreation Center, it's a gym, and the turnout's just, I don't feel like we need a room that large.
Well, it's nice here because you can literally just point across the street.
Exactly. Like I said, we used to hold them in our lobby until COVID, so to go from.
And I'm not being skeptical, but it still seems a necessity to hold it in a different place than the office. Yeah.
But I don't think, well, now we have different type, we need the boost to
Oh,
put
right,
those
right.
out.
So
It's
even-
different.
We've never used this equipment in the lab
Yeah,
before.
okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how that would work.
Machine mark
Is
paper.
Yeah.
there any idea when we'll be in our new facility?
I did speak with Buddy yesterday, and the contracts have been signed. The money is there. The contract is sitting on the county attorney's office desk right now, waiting for him to go through it to make sure there's no changes or anything before they can start with the contractor. They're shorthanded. He's by himself now. He did have one girl up there, and she left like a week ago. So
At the county attorney's office?
at the county attorney's office, yeah. Reagan,
She left.
she had another opportunity and, took that. And, so he's unfortunately by himself right now. That's unfortunate for us, for him to go through that contract
Mhm.
before they can actually get started. But everything's ready. I did go down there. They have, moved all maintenances, went down there and moved all the furniture that needs moving, and they've done what they could do. Now it's once the contractors can get started.
But there's no way it'll be ready by October.
No, I mean, well, they're still saying August the 1st, but from what I've heard, they're not counting on August. They're telling us August 1st, but I don't think it'll be August 1st. So we have to plan as if it's not going to happen, because we need to get, reservations and things like that.
But if we were moved in, you would still plan on having that.
Probably, we would still have it at Graham because we have to turn in the paperwork and everything to the state months ahead. So, yeah,
I mean, in some ways, that's a better spot for people to get to anyway.
true. Yeah. So, and that's the only, I'm not sure that the dates are available, but if they're not, then my backup is the Graham Rex. Okay.
I'll entertain a motion to allow Dawn to pursue having early voting for the 2023 primary and election at the Graham Library. And if that does not work out, at the Graham Rec Center.
Move, second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimously passed.
And then we're working on the budget. So currently, we don't really need to decide on sites and times, but we just do need to decide on the number of sites for the primary. This is a presidential primary. In 2016, we had 3 sites, and in 2020, we had 3 sites. And I didn't know if y'all still wanted us to budget for 3 sites for the 2024 presidential primary, or how many sites y'all were considering.
Did 3 sites work all right last time?
I also gave you have the sheets that have this list, each site we had, and then if you'll look down at the bottom, it tells the number of hours that we had at that particular election, and the number of turnout for one stop, and then an election day turnout. And you have one for March 15th of 16 and March 3rd of 2020. If you'll note, in 2016, there was only 9 days of early voting. But now, and the hours have also changed. So we have a lot more days and more hours now.
And that was the legislature that passed, that made our schedule uniform
Correct.
for weekdays and that last Saturday, right?
That's correct.
So
Mhm.
we have a lot more hours, but less flexibility in how to use them.
That's except for weekends.
Yes.
Mm.
And this is not exactly what we're talking about, but, we got Holly Hill Mall on here for both.
Well, that's what we
Yeah.
used in the past.
Yeah.
We have put in, call back to Elon.
Yeah.
An email to see if they would be able to, consider us using Elon site, in the primary,
Yeah.
residential primary. We've already spoken with them about the November election,
Mhm.
but, we haven't heard back from them, so we don't know what the sites would be yet.
Right.
But,
I guess in that case, though, you would not have a site in Burlington. It would be one in Elon, one in Evan, and
Well,
one in
that-
Graham.
We would just have to, if Elon chose not to, we
Yeah.
could always approach the mall again if
Or-
y'all consider,
Or the senior center, right? That's
Right,
that's
right.
also a site we.
we still have options for
Yeah.
that side of town.
Yeah, I mean, that Elon location is pretty much, I mean, like, it's right.
It's close.
Well, it's close to some parts of
Right.
Burlington, but not very
True,
close to all
that's
the
true.
other.
That's
Well,
Then you
where it's
go to
supposed to
Graham.
be, the more
Yeah.
most of the people live. It's the western part.
So you would have, if you went Mebane, that would be east. Then
Grand
you
Central.
do Graham in the middle, and then do Elon would be west. So
Well, like I said, we're not necessarily choosing sites right now,
Right.
mostly just choosing the number of locations.
Just for budget purposes.
Yeah. Does anyone have recommendations?
I don't really remember any complaints historically about there being too many lines or not access for primary voting or anything like that, so I would think 3 would be fine.
All right. I'll accept the motion on that.
So,
second,
All right. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. That's unanimous for budgetary purposes.
Okay. And I have, in your list, stack, I just listed currently the board dates for 2023. Some of these can be, changed, canceled. I listed, the October and November absentee meetings as if we were having, Burlington primary. And if you will note too, in July, that is when the appointments are, the newly appointed board would take their oath of office. And is scheduled, for Tuesday, July 18th at 12 noon. And then, the new board would then decide who was going to be the chair, the secretary.
All right.
So this is just for y'all information.
Thank you. Just for clarification on the Burlington, on the municipal elections and early voting.
Mhm.
It would be the responsibility of the municipality to provide funding for another early voting site for a municipal.
As long as it's just, the municipalities.
Yeah.
There's not a countywide election, then
Yeah.
we are reimbursed for.
So if people in Burlington who have to go to Graham to vote in their primary wanted a site in Burlington, it would be up to Burlington to make that happen.
Well, basically, we
would administrate it,
Yeah, and we pay
they
for
would provide the
everything up
resources.
front, and
Yeah.
then we bill them afterwards.
which it doesn't, if I remember correctly, that money doesn't always go back to where it came
It
from.
doesn't come back to us.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
goes back into county
Right.
funds.
That's unfortunate, but all right. Well, any other discussion?
I do have one, I do need to, ask for y'all's, approval or disapproval if the staff is paid for 40 hours of their comp time that they worked this past election. They all had close to 200 hours. And it's, we're trying to get started, cleaning and preparing for the move. We started working in some of the other locations, cleaning that out. It's just hard when we have some people out working, then we only have one or two people here. It would be nice if they didn't all had to take so much time off.
I will entertain a motion to support that funding.
And this is 40 hours total, or?
They'll just deduct that. Normally, they'll take that as comp time. However, they, within a certain amount of time, because then we'll come back into elections again, they'll start accumulating more time. So they need to kind of take it before the summer, and then with their vacations and things like that. We usually hold over some for them to take in the summer, so they'll have vacation time. And then the rest, it's just 40 hours paid out.
Okay. I move that we approve 40 hours of comp time for staff.
So,
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passed unanimously.
Okay, and one,
That does bring up an issue that we've talked about in the past, was just I think we had talked about part-time elections workers moving to 15 an hour by 2024.
I have that over,
I can't remember the exact details, but I know.
I do have the list of the increase for the years.
Yeah.
I will,
And we're still on target.
we are still on target.
2015,
We
and that-
use that, we budget the increase.
And that would be, so we're now working on the budget for 23, 24.
Correct.
So
And I think y'all went to 25. Or
See.
would this be the last? I'll have to look at my sheet.
I guess my question is, if that increase to 15, that would be that would be in the following budget for 24, 25 in the presidential election, or that would be in the budget for 23, 24, because there's a primary.
Do you want me to bring you
Yeah.
that? Well, I know exactly where it's at.
Good.
Okay. The increase, that would be budgeted for this year because they're currently at 14,
Okay.
be 15, and then next year, one more increase.
Okay. Next
For
calendar year or fiscal year?
fiscal year.
So, which is the one we're preparing now?
No, we're fixing to prepare, they'll go to 15.
Okay.
And then next fiscal year for 24, 25, they'll go to 16.
Okay, good.
Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
And we have it, each one of you has an email from Karen Brinson Bell at the state board, And this just, if y'all read over it, this just kind of, this was her advisement with the absence of Dorothy, how to proceed until till July when a new board is nominated.
And how long does it usually take for the member to be seated? I mean, so they're actually nominated earlier, right? And then sworn in July?
That's correct.
Okay.
Mhm. And since we don't have any, that she stated, since there were no elections between now and then, that, you know, if an issue came up, we would contact the state board at that time. But as long as y'all could work together and, you know, any conflicts and that,
During the easiest time to have, to work things out in a municipal spring.
that's correct, yes. Are there, do y'all have any questions? Well, that's all I have.
Anyone else have any other business?
And then our next meeting currently is February the 14th, which is, I mean, if I'll advise, I'll let you know if, you know, if we have anything to meet on at that, before then,
Okay.
okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
We're adjourned. Thank you.
All right.